Hello, everyone. Mike Rooney here, getting us ready for the Shriners Children's Showdown at Globe Life Field, joined by the Oklahoma State head coach, Josh Holliday. Coach Holliday, always a pleasure to see you. Before we get into the tournament, let's talk about just the overall status of the program. From the outside, the way I describe your program is I think it's the most consistent program in the country. You guys have been to 12 state regionals. And when you think about it, there's 300 plus teams in Division I baseball. Only three other teams have a longer streak than you all, and that's Vandy, Florida, and LSU. From the inside, does it how would you describe that, an accomplishment like that? I'm sure you don't think about it much, but it really is incredible. It is hard to make regionals in the year 2026.
Yeah, well, thank you, Rance. Yeah, I think internally what you're trying to do every single day is chase a pretty high standard. Those standards both on the day-to-day basis with your players and their pursuit of their education, their membership on the team, their growth as players, and then the standard of your team, continuing to strive to be the best, recruit the best players, invest in the program in all the necessary ways to see that growth continue, and then the performance of the team. The consistency you speak on is something we're very proud of, and then striving to elevate that consistency in pursuit of a national championship is what drives that every single day. And we've been very competitive in a very strong Big 12 over the last 13 or 14 years, whatever it's been. We've been in the mix and in the regional field every year, banging our heads with the best teams in the country. And our goal is to continue to push forward and be better than previous years. And yet sometimes that's tough because there's cycles with your roster. There's cycles with the growth of your team. But we really like the direction we're headed. We've got a really good roster balance right now of 24 underclass, freshman, sophomore type age kids in our program, along with a really nice upper half of the roster of older kids. And but I think the program stands for a lot of stable things: academics, player retention and development, and then the courage to perform on the field of play. And we're like any team. We're proud of what we've done, but we're constantly looking to take the next step, right? And we want to be banging on the door of Omaha as often as possible. Make no mistake about it. That's what we're shooting for. But I noticed at the end of last year on the bus ride home from Athens after a disappointing loss and losing in the regional, and you look up and realize numerous top seeds, also seasons coming to an end, teams that had amazing regular seasons, teams that won high-powered conferences. So getting two regionals is hard, getting through regionals is hard, and getting to Omaha is hard. Sometimes you can have an excellent ball club and the matchups or performance there at the end, you get a good break and you advance, you get a tough break and maybe you're left standing there. So we just got to keep pushing and keep putting ourselves in position to break through once again.
Josh, with the Athens regional, obviously the squeeze play whip around show we get to do, that regional was really compelling. And I'm going to forget the fourth team that was there. I think it was like Binghamton or something like that. But, between you and Duke and Georgia, man, it felt like one of those wrestling matches where everybody's in the ring and they're tossing guys out and guys are coming back in. And, even though you didn't win the regional, as you mentioned, what a field that was. And your win against Georgia, you eliminate a top 8 national seed on their own field in a game that was very emotional and chippy and just had all these ups and downs. Is there momentum that can be gained from that for the players that are still on your roster that was an incredible college baseball game?
Yeah, no doubt. I thought the real highlight of our season was just the way we stayed with it through the grind of the year. It was a difficult, challenging year. Nothing seemed to go to plan, whether it was the way the schedule played out, injuries, nothing was easy. And by the end of the year, there's a lot of groups that would have folded it and said, hey, let's check this in and call it good. Our guys did not do that. We played very well down the stretch. And when we got to Athens, we rolled up our sleeves and we went to work. You mentioned it was like a boxing match. And Duke was very good, very mature, incredibly well coached. Those kids were smart and skilled, and a lot of 22, 23-year-olds that really knew what they were doing. I thought they had tremendous composure and just an excellent roster. That was a really well-built team. The Georgia game was just a good old-fashioned Saturday afternoon in the park. I mean, this was two teams with some courage, plenty of testosterone in play right there. Not a lot of jerseys buttoned up, a lot of bats being thrown, but at the end of the day, we threw ours last. And I'm proud of the team. I'm as proud of what we accomplished and how we did it and how we finished as I could be. And you have to be on teams and part of teams to truly know those things. And we walked out of there proud. We walked out of there having emptied the tank. And the guys coming back from that team brought that momentum and that edge that they found at the end of the year back to campus with them. So it was great college baseball. It was an exciting regional. Georgia had a ton of athletes and strong, talented kids. And for 3 days there, that was a lot of good baseball. And, tip of the cap to Duke. They simply got the job done and advanced.
Gotta love it. Let me ask you about some individual players. I want to talk about Avery Ortiz. His name is getting a lot of buzz in this preseason so far. He was excellent 2 years ago and then just fought injuries last year. Where does he stand right now, Josh? And how would you describe Avery to people that haven't seen him play yet?
Well, Avery is a true freshman 2 years ago, was our everyday second baseman on an excellent team. He played outstanding defense. He really matured into a fine offensive player as a true freshman. Strong kid. Can steal a base, can hit a double, can hit a homer, has moved to shortstop, made that transition last season, and really was off to a great start last year. I think he homered in two games right off the bat. We're in Globe Life last year playing against Clemson and Texas and Louisville. I think he went deep twice and then really kind of had the first chain of events for our team last year that was difficult, and that he tore his quad. And so we lost him for about 10 or 12 weeks. That was a tough injury. It took forever to heal. And then he fought his way back and played the last 2 weeks of the season and definitely impacted our team down the stretch. So he's kind of a five-tool player. He can get a base hit to any field. He can hit a home run. He can steal. He could lay down a bunt if he needed to. He's got excellent athleticism and range, and he has a strong arm. So this kid can do a lot of things. Last year was an unfortunate disruption in his progress. He went up to Cape Cod last summer, had a nice 2 or 3 week span up there before coming home and really just trying to get his leg to 100%, which he's done. So very good player, and a player that, again, I think had he been healthy last year, this is a guy that would be pushing with preseason All-American momentum. He just didn't have the benefit of that 45 games last year to kind of continue to move his game and our team and his profile along.
Love that. I want to ask you about your center fielder, Colin Ritchie. He's built like a football player, left-handed hitter. His Athens regional was so bonkers. I've had to look it up no less than 10 times because I don't trust. It's so crazy what he accomplished in Athens. Like, I say it and I'm like, there's no way that actually happened. There's no way a kid hit 5 home runs in a regional and then stole a home run. Like he's plus 6 home runs for the regional. Tell us about Colin Ritchie, please.
Yeah, again, he and Avery came in the same class. He, much like Avery, broke in as a true freshman and contributed on a really, really good offensive team. And then last year missed the first month. Again, no one talks about that, about our team last year. We played the first month without a guy that by the end of the year was one of the most exciting players in college baseball. So he had no preseason to get ready. His back was tight. We were patient with him. When he finally got healthy, we fired him in there. And then it took him about 20 games to kind of get in shape and find himself. In the last 20 games last year, Runes, he was awfully good. In the last 3 or 4 that you mentioned, he was one of the best players in the postseason. So he can run. He's got power at all fields. He's got gigantic power to right. He's a very good defensive center fielder, even though he's probably 6'1", 225. He can definitely play center field, and powerful, strong, athletic player. And he kind of put the world on alert a little bit last year at the end. But another guy, if he stays healthy, gets off to a good start. This is a very complete player, and I think a player that's just on the outside right now of a lot of people's preseason lists of top players to follow. It's my belief that he'll jump right on those lists and really have a great year.
Love that. On the mound, Josh, Ethan Lund is a kid that was very interesting last year. Didn't get to throw a ton. Same sounds like a similar thing. You guys were just trying to be cautious with him. But it seems like if you get the best version of him, he could really be something this year.
He had a great fall last year, Runes. He had one of those breakout freshman falls where every time he went out, he got better and better. By the end of the fall, you could arguably said he had the most, complete mix of pitches on our team with an upper mid-90s fastball, a real curveball, and he had developed the feel for changeups and cutters over the fall. So he went from a intriguing high school arm to a really, really high level performer. Came out to start the year. He was in our first guy out of the pen mix, got a little stiffness in his shoulder after a couple of weeks. We rested him. He worked his way back, and by the end of the year, he returned to form. Granted, we were without him for about 8 to 10 weeks there in the middle, but this kid is a real athlete. This is a 6'5" lefty that has big fastball, lots of life on the fastball, a hammer, curveball that's pretty much unhittable. And now he has a changeup and cutter to go along with that. So he's healthy and he's strong. He has a real profile as a starting pitcher. This guy's got a chance to make a living throwing a baseball. And, here he is in year 2 as a sophomore, ready to break out. Just another guy that the development process has been ongoing, and we think he's ready to come out here this year and put it all together.
Love that. Josh, your program feels to me very dedicated, very committed is a better word, to recruiting the right high school player and developing that player. But of course, transfers are part of the world we live in now, and you have 2 really interesting transfers. Hudson Barrett was an All-American at UC Santa Barbara a couple years ago, left-handed pitcher, really physical left-handed pitcher. And then Campbell Smithwick, a left-handed hitting catcher that came from Ole Miss, where, he was one of the most famous players in the country to get to campus a couple years ago. Could you tell us about their acclimation and what it looks like for those 2?
Yeah, it's a great point, Runes. We have a 16-man freshman class on campus. We had another 4 quality junior college players join that, and then 3 excellent transfers last summer. You mentioned Hudson. Hudson's the real deal. He was a freshman All-American at Santa Barbara. Unfortunately for him, he got injured early in his sophomore year, so that's that really mistimed Tommy John where you start a college season only to get injured, and then he wasn't able to return until the end of last year. Pitched a little bit for UCSB down the stretch last year. When the draft didn't work out, he was looking for maybe a new home. It was a great fit for us. So now we have a healthy Hudson Barrett. This is a skilled lefty. It's low to mid 90s. It's an elite changeup. It's a really good slider, and it's a ton of know-how. He's been the guys did a great job of developing him out there, and we're going to be lucky to bring in a mature guy with some experience, well coached, well taught, well prepared lefty. He's going to pitch at the top of the rotation with Lund. He's a good one, and probably a guy that people just maybe a little bit out of sight, out of mind, and that he wasn't out there as much last year. But a major impact transfer for us. I think he'll do a great job. And then Campbell couldn't have come at a better time. Two really solid years at Ole Miss. He has a chance now to come here to Oklahoma State and take what he learned there and really blossom. He, along with a couple other first-year guys, give us a really good catching core. But Campbell's a left-hand hitting catcher, high IQ, really good defensive player, and has a lot of clutch about his bat. So those guys, along with TP Wentworth, were our 3 transfers to go along with a big high school group and some junior college guys. So, our model has been to try to develop Cowboys and keep Cowboys here. And we've been pretty good at doing that. And we really like this group. Those 3 kids that transferred in are perfect additions to our team. They bring all the intangible qualities you could ever want in your players. So we were very fortunate, although not big in number, I think high in quality of transfers.
Final thing, Josh. So as a college baseball fan, you don't have to sell me on the Shriners Children's Showdown at Globe Life Field, right? It's February. You guys are going to be inside. You have me right there. But then you're going to play Arkansas and Oklahoma and Vanderbilt. I mean, just an incredible weekend of college baseball. How about from the coach's perspective, maybe even the player's perspective? What are the advantages to playing teams of this caliber and then also playing them in a big league yard?
Well, first of all, it's an awesome way to start your season. You mentioned the guaranteed opportunity to play in a world-class facility. Add to it playing some of the best teams in the country. Those ball games all day long will be filled with future major league players. I assure you, if you can get out there and watch, you'll see somebody do something amazing on the field. You'll see somebody strike out 12. You'll see 100-mile-an-hour fastballs. You'll see home runs in the second deck. These kids can really play. And so our experience down here in Arlington at Globe Life, whether it's in the Shriners Classic, which we've been lucky enough to be a part of, or in the Showdown tournaments that follow, it's big-time college baseball. It's at a great building. It's at a time of year when we're all kind of getting ourselves out there and getting acclimated and figuring out who we are. The baseball has been awesome. We've played some great games in this tournament already over the last couple of years. So to open with Arkansas, elite roster, great coach, unbelievable tradition, a fan base that travels, probably going to be the top game in college baseball that Friday night. I'm betting there'll be 15, 20,000 people there, and great chance for our guys to go out there and rise to the occasion. You mentioned Oklahoma, very familiar with them, super talented roster. And then on Sunday against Vanderbilt, who, a place that I have always been a huge fan of since my days as an assistant there. And I don't think there's a better coach in college baseball than Coach Corbin. So lots of respect for those teams, those rosters, the athletes, and the people are so kind. And the fact that we're getting to be part of a cause bigger than college baseball, getting to meet the kids and the Shriners participants that come out and really tell their story to our team and help our guys understand it's more than just baseball. These stories are inspiring. So we're excited and honored that we've been invited back. And yeah, I mean, if you're going to pick a place to plop down and watch ball, Globe Life's the place.
It is amazing. It is amazing, and it has a roof. We love everything about it. Josh, it was awesome to see you. Good luck to you and the Cowboys this year, and we'll catch you down the road.
Okay, Runes. We'll see you.